Hey folks, going to go through chapter 11, chemical reactions. This is going to be the first part to get you started so you can do your lab on Friday. So here we go. Again, since it's a video, I'll be going pretty quick through this stuff, so feel free to pause. So chemical reactions and chemical change, that's what this next chapter is going to be about. This is technically a review from your freshman year. And a lot of times when we're talking about chemical change, we start with a word equation. So we have reactants on the left side and products on the right side. Okay, this arrow in the middle means yields or produces, so reactants yield products. An example of a word equation, we have iron plus oxygen yields iron oxide. Right? And another example, hydrogen peroxide yields water and oxygen, and then methane plus oxygen can yield carbon dioxide and water. A few more things about chemical equations. We use the arrow to separate the reactants from the products. Here is an example of the equation that we did right in the last one, the second one. It's a formula instead of words. So we have iron metal and oxygen gives us iron 3 oxide. And if you notice, if you remember, oxygen is diatomic. That's why it's O2 and not just O. Okay, and you'll have to don't forget how to name formulas. We'll be coming back to this as well. One of the things we need to include are physical state labels. So these are pretty straightforward: solid, liquid, gas. And aqueous is a new one. Aqueous, like water, it means it's dissolved in water. It's important to note that it's different than liquids. Now, we're not melting it, we're dissolving it in water. And most of the solutions we use in lab will be aqueous. So if I were going to add some physical state labels to this formula, iron at room temperature is usually a solid. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this here. So you put a little s in parentheses. Ugh, this is not going to work. Little s in parentheses next to it. We'll revisit this, but then oxygen is gas at room temperature, so it'd be a little G right here. And then iron oxide, which is the technical name for rust, would have a solid next to it as well. Um, Evidence of chemical reactions. If you remember back to chapter 2, we talked about physical and chemical changes. Physical changes are when the identity of the substance does not change. In a chemical change, the identity changes. So physical changes would be boiling, melting, bending, cutting. Chemical changes are the following. So things that would denote a chemical change, like burning, be release of heat and light, production of a gas, formation of a precipitate, and color change. Remember, the identity changes. The identity of substance changes in a chemical reaction or a chemical change. All right, last slide. I told you it'd be quick. Um, New term, coefficients, that represent the number of units in each substance. This is a good pick drawing to just jot into your notes. A coefficient are these numbers in front. We have our reactants on the left, products on the right. These little numbers again are subscripts. And to give you an idea of what these coefficients show you, we have CH4 here. There's no number here, so we assume it's 1. It means we have one CH4 molecule. Here we have 2 O2. This 2 means that I have 2 O2 molecules here, so you can just see it in visual form. One CO2 molecule and then 2 H2O molecules. So that's it, just a little intro so that you can recognize some chemical equations in your lab. All right, good luck.